Om Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir me sada Yenakshara samamnayam adhigamya maheshwarat kritsnam vyakaranam proktam tasmai paninaye namaha vakyakaram vararuchim bhashyakaram patanjalim Paninim Sutrakarancha Pranatosmi Munitrayam Vagarthaviva Sampriktau Vagarthav Pratipattaye Jagatav Pitaro Vande Parvati Parameshwarau Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Namaste. We'll chant our Maheshwara Sutra. Maheshwara Sutrani. Om A-I Un Rilik E-Ong I-Ouch Hayavarata Lan Nyamagharnanam Jabhanya Gadhadash Jabagadhadash Kapachatatav Kapai Shashasar Hal Iti Maheshwarani Sutrani. Om. Welcome everyone. So started with our Maheshwara Sutra, and now we'll just jump in with our Mati-śabdha. So we were going over Mati-śabdha. We're going to do that hopefully near the second half of the class, but first we can just use our Mati, use our intellect to remember Mati. So what I'll do is I'll chant it pretty slowly, and you can try to chant as well, but I'm going to give some space so you can beat me to it, right? Okay. So the first one, Matihi, Mati, Matayaha, Matim, Mati, Matihi. 3-1, Matya, Matibhyam, Matibhihi. So 4-1, Matyai, Mataye, Matibhyam, Matibhyaha. 5-1, Matya or Matehe, Matibhyam, Matibhyaha. 6-1, Matyaha or Matehe, Matyoho, Matinam. 7-1, Matyam or Matau, Matyoho, Matishu, He Mate, He Mati, He Matayaha. So the reason why I say beat me to it is because if we're memorizing it, then maybe you can say it and then you also hear me do it. So you'll kind of hear both. If that works, then you can do that way. Otherwise, you can chant it with me. I can't hear you. So whatever works, that we should find out that, right? We will practice this a bit more in the second part of our class. I did want to jump to Sandhi because we haven't given Sandhi much of our love recently. So if you can open up your Sandhi book and look in the index for ṇa-tvam-sandhi. ṇa-tvam-sandhi. And I'll pull it up so you can see what it looks like.
Mahodaya,
Go ahead.
about 3 classes back, you said you're going to send us a couple of sheets, which is not part of the text. It is not in our textbook, but you have it.
Okay.
Kindly
I forgot about that. I will write that down.
Yeah, if you do that, we can study that. Thank you. Dhanyawada.
Do you remember what that was for again? Can you remind me?
It is the first 2 pages when we started the
consonant sandhi.
The consonant sandhis, which were the we didn't have that in our textbooks.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for reminding.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So first of all, that's a good reminder of just locating where we are, right? So far in Sandhi, so Sandhi means a connection, right? Connection of sounds. So when sounds come together, there's a change will take place, right? That's the basic of what Sandhi is. Now we've seen Visarga Sandhi. We've seen what we call Ach Sandhi. Ach means all vowels. And now we are looking at consonant Sandhi, and consonant Sandhi will be called Ha, Al, Hal Sandhi. So we've seen Visarga Sandhi, we've seen Ach or vowel Sandhi, and now we're going to see Hal or consonant Sandhi. So in consonant Sandhi so far, we saw Murdhanyatva Sandhi, which is when Sha, Shivam Shakara, becomes, when your tongue goes up, Shanmukh Shakara. Okay, when it becomes Murdhanya. Now, this is going to be a very similar Sandhi, and we can always go back to Murdhanya's Sandhi if that's helpful. But we're going to look at Ṇa-tva. So Ṇa-tva is kind of on the same line as what we saw in Murdhanya's Sandhi. This is number 10 in the Hal section of your book. Some people are saying it's on page 72, but I know there's different variations. So you can look around for that number 10, or what's called ṇa-tvam-sandhi. Okay. Yeah, 72 or 79, it looks like there's 2 kind of variations of the book. Now, as we've always seen, we have this reference to the sutra, but that's a little bit more advanced than we need to go right now. So we're going to just note that the sutra, the original where this comes from is marked there. And this is going to be generally a translation of this. Okay. So first of all, why is it called ṇa-tvam-sandhi? So you'll see the word na. Na is referring to this na, murdhanya nakara. Okay. Now there's an additional added, but we won't have that added here. Twa means status. So giving the status of nakara, essentially, is why we call it ṇa-tvam-sandhi. Right? And we can remember this because we're adding a na, so you can remember it's ṇa-tva.
Is it ṇa-tva as written in English or ṇa-tvam as it is in Sanskrit? Because the two na and ana are different.
Yeah, so it's na, your tongue should go up. Ana. So it's not
So it's
like,
not, yeah, it's not ṇa-tvam, is it ṇa-tvam?
yeah, but when we say in Sanskrit, it's still still ṇa-tvam, but your tongue goes up. So it's not ṇa-tvam, like ana, but it's just ṇa-tvam, but your tongue should go up. So you're on the correct flow, but it's still pronounced ṇa-tvam, where your tongue goes up.
I think there is a dot under N, so I think the ṇa-tva.
Yeah, so even in the English, you can see there's a dot underneath, but the line is covering up. So that dot signifies that it's the murdhanya nakara. So what is the sutra? So the sutra is na is the substitute for na, dental nakara. Okay. Na is substituting or taking the place of na, but there's some conditions. Okay. That na is immediately preceded by ra or sha. Okay, so right before the nakara, there should be ra or sha. Okay. Now, I wish it was that simple. Now there's a little bit more to add in this second sutra that's there. Now, right, we said ra or sha can be right before, and then it'll take place. But this ṇa-tva can take place even when ra or sha, if there's these few things that are in the middle. Okay. If there are any of these things in the middle, then still, even though it's not directly in front of the na, you'll still get that ṇa-tva. Okay. So just to repeat that again, ra or sha can be either immediately preceding, right before it, and then you'll get ṇa-tva, you'll get the na replacing, or that ra or sha can have any of these following things in between the ra or sha and the naka, the dental na. Okay. Now, this looks like a lot, but really we only need to focus on at, ku, pu. Okay, at, ku, pu. Ang and num, we don't see as commonly. Okay, they are, ang is a type of upasarga and num is a type of augment that's added, but we don't see these as commonly, so we don't need to focus on them for now. Okay. So what we need to focus on is at, ku, pu. Now how I generally remember this is I put the na in front of at and I think of nut kupu. That's how I pair them together so that I remember it. Nut kupu. So I remember this. What is at? Okay, what is at? What you should do is you can look at this Maheshwara Sutra. You look for the a. Do you see akara? Yeah, right? It's the first. And then we search for ta. Okay, and that second letter is not inclusive, right? So a, and tata. So what is at then? All vowels, a, I, u, r, l, e, o, I, ow, and these semivowels plus hakara, ha, ya, va, ra, except for la. Okay, so here we can write vowels plus ha, ya, va, ra. All the vowels plus ha, ya, va, ra. Right? Okay. I'll just go through this and I'll take questions after I just go through this basic part here. The next you see is ku. Ku means kavarga. Kavarga means the whole line of ka in the alphabet. So now this is where the alphabet chart comes in handy. This is where technology comes in handy too. I can have all of these things waiting for us. So what is ku? How many letters? Right? 5 letters. Ka, kha, ga, gha, nga. I remember going to Gujarati Sunday school and we learned Gujarati and we had to ka, kha, ga. You have to do this so many times. So this is ku. We flew over the cuckoo's nest. Ku, ku. Okay, so ku, ka, kha, ga, ga. You can write them here. Those 5. Now, pu. At, ku, pu. Now look for it. There's going to be 5 letters, right? Say it with me. Pa, pa, ba, bha, and ma. Pa, pa, bha, bha, ma. Okay. Notice that in Sanskrit, really it should be just pa with maha. So pa. It's not fa like in Hindi. Fa like the letter F. That's not originally, that sound is not originally there in the Sanskrit language. It's pa, but with a little bit of air to it. Okay, so at, ku, pu, vowels plus hayavara, ku, ka, kha, ga, ga, nga, pu, pa, pa, bha, bha, ma, and then these 2, ang and num, right? Okay, and there's one small note that they give at the end. This should not happen at the end of a word. So if this nakara is all the way at the end, this won't happen. Okay, now that's a lot of information that we just took in. So we will practice this, but I wanted to stop to see if anyone has any questions. You can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. May I?
Yes, please.
I have 3-4 questions. One, first of all, if let's say the last one, the na should not at the end of the change of n should not happen at the end of a pada.
Mhm.
That means if I take the word Krishna, na is at the end of the word, that means there is no change.
No,
Is that
because
right?
after na, even in Krishna, there's an a at the end,
Oh,
right?
oh, yeah.
And Krishna, na is already murdanya. So it's not this nakara. So that's,
Now,
but
can you give me an example? This change of na will not take place.
So for example, 2-3 of Rama, right? Of Rama, Ramam, Ram. So what is 2-3 of Rama? Raman,
Raman.
right? So this nakara at the end, that can't become a murdanya nakara. Even though there's ra. Let's see if this works. I'm just okay. I have rakara, so that fits this condition. And now we have to see, are these at, ku, pu? Okay. I have a, which is at. So yeah.
Okay.
I have ma, which is pu. So that fits. And I have another which is at. So this would, if this was not at the end of the word, this would have become murdanya nakara. But since this is at the end of the word, this does not become murdanya nakara.
Okay, got it. Very good. Now, they are talking, okay, number 5, ra and a sha. Now, looking at the looking at the chart in the beginning, we can have also r. This chart, the chart at the bottom.
Oh, chart at the bottom. Okay.
Yeah. So we have a, ra, sha, r. Yeah, that one. So any of those 3 can also, even r can satisfy this role.
No, so only ra or sha, not r. Because r is a vowel, so that won't fit the condition here. Only ra or sha, these 2.
Okay.
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 So this is a consonant and this is a vowel, even though they sound similar, but they're different statuses.
I see. Okay. I thought any ṇa-tvam takes place for any of these 3. I thought. Okay. And kindly explain what is the meaning of the word augment?
Augment is something which is added into something. So like if I add a letter in the middle of the word, that's called an augment. So it just means an addition. I'm adding something.
A type of addition.
But it's not at the end, which would be a suffix. And it's not at the beginning, which would be a prefix. It's somewhere in the middle of the word or somewhere else. So it's an augment.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And there's one question in the chat. It says, what does the ukara, for example, ku or pu, what does that signify? Why that vowel? So this is Panini, when he was writing his sutras. Basically, he was wanting to use minimal letters and minimal words, right? So he created this language, essentially, right? Where he said, if I add an u, that will stand for the whole row of letters. So ku gives you 5 letters in 1 syllable. So this is like the first computer language almost, right? Like packing a lot of data into small amounts of code. That's what we call a sutra. So let's look at more examples so we can see how this is done. All right. So since we were looking at Rama before, we're going to take up Rama here. Now, this ṇa-tva usually happens in 3-1 and 6-3. So we'll see if they apply and why they apply. Okay. So 3-1 Rama is Ramena, right? So first I'm just going to write it in English just so we can see it. Okay. And now we're just going to look at this. Does this become Murdhanya Nakara or not? Okay, let's see. First, I have Ra. So that fits the condition, right? I have Ra or Sha. Now, do we Art Kupu? We don't have to have all of those. Do we have whatever's in between? Is it either Art or Ku or Pu or a combination of that? We have which is a vowel. Which is a vowel. We've ma, which is not ka ka ga ga na, but it is a pa pa ba ba ma. Yeah, it's pu. So check mark, that fits. We have a, which is a vowel, so that fits in. At. So then we know this becomes Murdhanya Nakara, Ramena. So I'm putting a dot below. So what it would look like in Devanagari is this, Ramena. Now notice this is not at the end of the word because we have this akara afterwards, okay? I'm just gonna erase some of these markings. Okay, we're supposed to do in 6-3. Let's do a different example in 6-3. Okay, so putra. Okay, number 5. Number 5. So putra. So this is a funny letter, right? So Putra is what it would look like. Putra. Okay, now if I want to write it in 6-3, it would be Putra Nam. Now we have to figure out, is this going to be Murdhanya Nakara or is it dental Nakara? All right, let's see. We have a Rakara before, so that fits. Here, let me do this. We have a Rakara, so that fits. We have an which is a vowel, so that fits. So those two fit in Atkupu, right? We have Ra or Sha, and now we have Atkupu. We have just one Akara. So this is going to be Murdhanya Nakara. So it's going to look like, oh, sorry. Putra Nam. Putranam. Also in 3-1, it would be Putrena with Murdhanya. Okay. Not sure why this line is here. Cool. Let's do a Sha example. So let's look at number any of them. So let's look at Krishna, since we were talking about Krishna. Now we have to see, right? If I'm writing Krishna in 3-1, let's say, okay. Krishnena is what it would be, right? Notice that this is Murdhanya Shakara, Murdhanya Nakara. I'll write it in Devanagari in a moment, okay? All right. So now, first question, do I Ra or Sha preceding that? This is the Nakara in question, right? This Nakara is not in question because it's already Murdhanya, okay? So we don't need to worry about that one. This is the one in question. Okay. So give me a thumbs up if you say yes. Give me a thumbs down if you say no. Okay, so here's my question. Is there a ra or sha? Yes or no? Be preceding it. Yep, it is a sha. Shakara. Not rakara, because this is a vowel. This is a vowel, okay? That is not a consonant rakara. Okay, so yes, we have a sha. Now, the next thing is, oh, geez, I don't know what that is. All right, let's see. Nakara. Is that at, ku, pu? Yes or no? Give me, or you can type it in the chat. I see some thumbs down. I see some like looking up in the sky, praying to Bhagavan. A lot of different things going on right now. Okay, let's think. At, a, I, un, relik, a, ong, ouch, haya, varata. Here, let me pull it in so you can see. We have two nakaras, but we don't consider them. They're right. They're it letters. So we're just looking at the vowels, a, I, u, r, l, e, o, I, ao. So there's no nakara. Haya, varata, la, there's no nakara. Now, ku, ka, ka, ga, ga, na, there's no murdanya nakara. Or pa, pa, ba, ba, ma. Is there murdanya nakara? No. So at, ku, pu, canceled. Okay. So there's no murdanya. So this is it's not a trick, because part of the thing is like, find out whether it's applicable or not. Here is not applicable. It is dental nakara. Okay, we just leave it as it is. So if I'm going to write it in Devanagari, Krishnena. Krishnena. And same thing will be with 6-3, Krishnanam. Same thing. Yeah, if you have a question, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Is there also not another issue with it, because the last letter would become na, Krishnena? That's another.
But the last letter is a akara, so that's okay.
That's okay. Then if that is so, then Krishna, ye would be ye, not Krishna.
Say that again.
Krishna, Krishna, a is a vowel.
A is a vowel.
It's not a na is the last thing. There is a vowel, a.
Oh yeah, but that's just how the word is. So it was never, that's just how the word originally came with murdanya nakara. You're saying this right here? I'm not sure if I'm getting the right thing. So
Either it's Krishna, that means the last letter is a, or Krishna, where the last letter is a. So both of them have a vowel at the end.
Yeah, so like in 7-1, right? Krishna will be Krishna. But at that point, we're not worrying about the natwa or not, right? We're only really worried about natwa in 3-1 or 6-3. Because this nakara is already murdanya. So we don't need to worry about this nakara. This is already murdanya. We're just worried about this one that's coming in, or from nam.
So what do you take the base word to be? Krishna or Krishna?
Krishna.
For the sixth case I'm talking of.
For the sixth case, we'll take it as
Krishnana.
Krishna, right? then
Krishna.
this last becomes long, Krishna, and then you add nam, right? Plus nam. Okay, so it becomes Krishna plus nam. Yeah, so then we have, right, same thing happens. We have shakara, so that's good. We have the shakara here. But now we have this murdanya nakara here. Na. Now that's not at, that's not ku, that's not pu. So that's why we'll just add it together. It'll be Krishnana. Krishnana.
So the Rama Putranam should become Putranam, but you have Putranam.
Oh yeah, so we need another line there, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's like microsurgery adding it in there.
I still don't get it.
Jumji,
Yeah.
I just missed it. Rama, Raman. Why it is a N? Why it is not Na?
Yeah, so let's go over that. And I'll do some more examples. Urmilaji, if it doesn't still make sense, you can let me know. Okay, I'm gonna do oh, we are over time. Okay, never mind. We'll talk about this next class.
Okay.
So let's just end class here. And in the break, I can answer why nakara at the end, okay? Om Shanti 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 Hariri Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hariri Om. So we'll take a 5-minute break. And so I'm going to answer this one question while we're taking a break, but feel free to get out. So Raman, right?
Yeah.
Here we have 2-3 of Mati-śabdha. Now, the question is, does this nakara become more dhanya or not? Right? And so we have to see, does it have a ra or sha? Yes, it does. Then we have to look at each letter. A is at, it's a vowel, so that works. Ma is part of pu, pa 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 ma. Is at, so it looks like it should count, but this should not happen when that nakara is at the end of the word. Here we have nothing after it. Usually we have at least a or a different letter that usually comes afterwards. If that was the case, then it can be more dhanya. But here, you see that little line? That means there's nothing afterwards. That's called a virama. There's no vowel after that. So that's why this does not take ṇa-tvam-sandhi. Okay. We'll stop there. I know there's some questions. We're going to pick this up in the next class. Okay, so we'll continue with this. So maybe you can note down your question and we can take it in a bit.